to a long forgotten memory. Dawn is breaking, waves are coming in. Everybody here standing in wonder beneath the rain and the thunder, rising in love. Om Shanti Satchitananda. That's you. Om Shanti Satchitananda. Om Shanti. Om Shanti Satchitananda. Om Shanti. Om Shanti Satchitananda. Om Shanti. We are awakening to this perfect imperfection. Awakening in the oneness of it all. Everybody here, part of each other, sisters and brothers, rising in love. Om Shanti Satchitananda. Om Shanti Satchitananda. Om Shanti. Om. Let me hear you. Om Shanti Satchitananda. Om Shanti. Om. Your turn. Shanti. Om. One more. Om Shanti Satchitananda. Om Shanti. Om. We are awakening. Everybody, I'll tell you when. Here we go. We are awakening. That's right. One more time. Here we go. We are awakening. Okay, now this side of the room is going to sing something else. Listen to me. We are awakening. That's you. We are awakening. Get ready. We are awakening. 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 We are awakening, everyone. We are awakening. And so it is. Thank you. Oh, I got another song. Is this where I introduce? Oh, good. Okay, so we have Sounds of Spirit over here with my dear friends. Matt Bazzone behind the plexiglass. Linda Ely on keys. Oliver Shirley on the bass. Myron Stam on guitar. And my name is Deva Vani. And I'm so overjoyed to be here with you today. I crossed an ocean for you. How can I serve today, sweet spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I serve today, sweet spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I may understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead, I will go. Who needs my love today, sweet spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I may understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead, I will go. And who needs my love today, sweet spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I may understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead, I will go. And how can I serve today, sweet spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I may understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Where you lead, I will follow. Where you lead, I will go.
Devavani! It's like she's done this before. For 17 years. She was our first music director for 17 years. Yeah. So we're so glad you're with us today. So good morning. Well, welcome to Universal Spirit Center. I'm Kevin Busey. I have the great joy and honor of being the spiritual leader of our thriving, progressive, inclusive spiritual community, and I welcome you no matter who you are or where you are on your spiritual journey. You are welcomed here, and you are deeply loved. So we're glad that you're all with us this morning. If you're new this morning, I'd love to meet you afterwards. We're not going to make you stand or say your name or anything like that, but I'd love to meet you afterwards. If you're new with us this morning. So Friday night, Pat, would you stand? Pat led an awesome poetry reading experience. So everyone who attended, like 13 people, would you stand? I hear we have a bunch of poets in the house. A few of them, yeah. So thanks for being a part of that and making poetry. That was cool. And so last week we acknowledged Carol, who turned 90, and in my excitement about that, I forgot to mention the other April birthdays. So if you were born in April, please stand. Let's acknowledge the April birthday. A few of you. Happy belated birthday. So on a couple Sundays, we've been a little tight with parking. So here's how we're going to address a parking issue. There's two ways. The first is if you come in and the parking is filled, you could park along the loop on the right side. So the driveway is big enough for a car to go through as well as one to park on the side. So you park on the right side so that you could get out. Just make sure there's you're not in the middle of the driveway. But there's enough room. And then the second thing, if you're going to leave right afterwards, some of you leave right after. If you are, you can tandem park in the parking lot if we know you're going to leave, because we're the only ones parking here on Sundays. We just want to make sure everyone who comes here has a place to park. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. That was it. That's it for me. And now we have Bob.
Good morning. I'm Bob Mozai. And I have the rest, or some of your announcements sort of this morning. If you have any questions about what I said, Reverend Kevin said, Kathleen's going to say, please go to our website at universalspiritcenter.org for all of your answers. First, the third Saturday with angels at Margot's home. Tune in for different energies with the Angels group. Powerful experience. We're asking for a love offering. Go to email info for directions. Sign up, please, next week for snacks. We did potluck the first Sunday every month. And the following Sundays, we ask people if they want some snacks, donuts, whatever, if you sign up and let us know that you're going to cover that Sunday, please. And we're asking for volunteers to help Lee set up and tear down. Next Sunday, I will be out for a month or so. So asking help for Lee so you can speak to him afterwards. I feel bad. And today we have paperback ministry. Today you can donate or prepare a bag with essentials to share with people that ask for assistance on the street. Or you can leave it with us and we'll work with PATH, People Assisting the Homeless, to get it to those people that need it and would appreciate it. And the last announcement I have here is, unfortunately, we're going to have to cancel Easter brunch. We couldn't get enough. We don't have a stove yet, oven. We couldn't get really good sponsors, and no one's set up to step up to lead that. So no brunch on the 27th. And speaking of Scrabble, so my dog ate and swallowed all my Scrabble tiles. Yeah, so I decided, of course, take it to the vet to have the vet check her out. No word yet.
Good morning. My name is Kathleen. I'm with Racial Equality Project. People usually have a lot of questions about what I have to say. So, Easter egg hunt sponsored by Choir on Fire. Join us for a delightful Easter egg hunt hosted by the Choir on Fire after Easter gathering next week. All are welcome to partake in a fun-filled Easter egg hunt. Whether you're young or young at heart, we encourage you to bring your friends and family for Easter Sunday. And then our Racial Equality Project call to action. The 5 things we can do now to strengthen democracy. Have conversations with differently minded people. Don't be silent. Take action against hate and harassment, both analog and digital. Stay informed but not overwhelmed, super important. Raise your voice to elected officials and protest. And our history this month is about Booker T. Washington. I don't know if we have a slide. I guess not. He taught himself the alphabet and eventually graduated from an agricultural institute. In June of 1881, he was asked to become the principal of a new training school for blacks at Tuskegee, Alabama. The Tuskegee Institute began in a single building with 30 students, but through his efforts grew into a modern university. And there is a video of Booker T. Washington on our webpage that you can check out. And let's say our prayer. So I'll say a line and you guys repeat. Divine light that binds us all. We come together as one, knowing that in our shared humanity lies the essence of our strength. May we see the beauty in our diversity. Let equality flow like a river, touching every heart and lifting every voice. And so it is.
Thanks, Kathleen, for that. Thank you. So I'm concerned we're going to be a month without Bob jokes. Is that right? Is someone to step up? No. Okay. So speaking of stepping up, I'm going to have you all stand. And there's a camera behind you. Wave to everyone who joins us online. Hey, community, virtual community, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being part of our center. Now, please turn to each other and welcome each other to Universal Spirit Center.
Just welcoming you back to your seats. Welcoming back to your seats. Yes. What a love fest indeed we are, aren't we? Yes. One of my favorite parts of the service is our greeting and our connection. And of course, the other favorite part is when I get to be up here. It's such an honor for me to be up here. I'm Borghild Kellenberger. I'm one of your licensed prayer practitioners here at Universal Spirit Center. And it is my joy to be here. Yes. I have a couple of announcements. The first one is that prayer will be maybe 2 minutes after the service, within the 3 minutes, in the room to the left for our healing prayer circle. You may join me there if you're in need of prayer, or you may fill out at the prayer table to my right at the far end. There is a prayer request form that you may fill out, and one of our prayer practitioners will reach out to you during the week. So just breathe with me. And let's just become still and centered and just be here now. And remember to breathe. We do forget that sometimes. And our reading this morning is by Rasha, the Book of Wholeness. Before it is possible to transcend the limitations of your humanness, it is necessary for you to be fully present in the experience of it. I'm going to read that again. Before it is possible to transcend the limitations of your humanness, it is necessary for you to be fully present in your experience of it. For then and only then will you begin to be free of the ties that bind you to the limitation of form. The experience of being connected to an inner source is a culmination of your journey. The experience of being connected to an inner source is the culmination of the journey. There is one life. That life is God's life. That life is my life now. That life is your life. For everyone gathered here this morning, our online family, that life is a life of the world. And that life is light and love. And we are the light of that life. We are the love of that life. And how wonderful it is to know that I am, you are, we are one with that life. And so as I move into this space, knowing that it is so perfect, so filled with grace, that it extends outward into the world, and it stays right here with us, enveloping us, wrapping us, animating us, sculpting us, guiding us, leading us, teaching us with that light and love. And I know that light is in the words of Rev Kev this morning. I know that light is in the voice and in the presence of Devavani, our guest artist. I know that light is in the life of our musicians who so lovingly strum those instruments. I know that light and love is in our tech team, as well as in all the hands that prepared this space so lovingly for us. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for each one of you here this morning, for you are that love and that light in your presence, in showing up and in being here, and in making this gathering possible. And so I anchor in this truth of love and light, knowing that it is so. And so it is.
I know you're listening and you hear me. I know you understand and you hear my small voice. There's no way I can separate myself from the body of your love. I've been searching and researching my soul for the answer to this. You're the only sense that I get when my senses are all spent. I want to talk with you alone. You will be here when all else is gone. Your love's the only thing I own. You are the giver of the gifts. You are the giver of the gifts. I remember a time, no time, no boundaries of my mind. There was no me and no I. There was only one. For now I live among your gifts, drifting back and forth in awareness, knowing this and feeling homesick. I want to talk with you alone. You will be here when all else is gone. Your love's the only thing I own. You are the giver of the gifts. You are the giver of the gifts. giver of the gift. You are the giver of the gifts. Give me the giver of the gifts.
Devavani. And our house band with the add-on, Myron Stam. He's the add-on this morning. So. I love that song. It was by Corinne Champanet, and we've been singing it here for years at our center. And it's about awakening, right? It's about someone who's discovered that they are more than just this body, the limitations, that they have communion with the oneness. They have experience with the divine. And it's the same with this reading, this awakening reading that Borghild read. Before it is possible to transcend the limitations of our humanness, it is necessary for us to experience our humanness. It's necessary to do that. The experience, the result of experiencing our humanness is being connected to an inner source, a divine, loving inner source. That's the end of the journey. So that's awakening, right? The awakening, the enlightenment is the growing in vibration and consciousness, however you want to describe it. It is leaving who we've been, laboring under false beliefs, laboring under past, future, and stepping into the power of the present moment and experience the oneness, divine presence. That's awakening. And you know, all scriptures of the world traditions points to this process. In Buddhism, we have Buddha under the Bodhi tree, where he experienced his enlightenment. In the Jewish faith, which is last night started Passover. I'm talking a little more about that. And so we have Moses wandering 40 years through the desert. In the Christian story, we have Mother Mary surrendering to the divine. In the Hindu scripture, we have the conversation between Arjuna and Krishna. And in the Muslim tradition, we have the Prophet Muhammad wrestling with the angels. So they're all, I imagine it as the divine being a diamond. And the different facets are just the different spiritualities in which we approach this experience of the diamond, the light of the diamond. It's just different angles we look at, right? It's just different angles. And we have of a tradition, we have our organization where we embrace all of the different facets, right? We say it's all because it all leads to the same place, a deep sense of divine presence, which is stronger than our limitations and false beliefs. So this Sunday, last night was Passover, and this Sunday is Palm Sunday. And I have to tell you, Palm Sunday is my favorite spiritual day of the year. It really is. It trumps for me the other, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Wow! It's better than the other spirit. I can't believe it's, and then I reacted to it as well. Sorry. I forgot what I was going to say. Palm Sunday. It's my favorite experience because it lays out a roadmap. It lays out a roadmap of spiritual awakening. This week does. It's a roadmap or GPS. Right? It's a guide on how we spiritually awaken. Other scriptures have it too. However, this one, in this process, really honors pain as a part of the process. Because the truth of the matter, right, to be human is to experience pain. It just is. So really, for a spirituality to be inclusive or authentic, it's got to acknowledge our pain. It's just got to. It's got to bring it into a place where it is redemptive, where we honor, where pain can absolutely be transformative. And that's particularly why I've got to go get my notes here. Are my notes here? Yeah. That's particularly why I like this story. What else do I want to say about? So this week is about, this story is about shattering the ego. Last week we talked about how the ego is always looking for threat, always looking for what's wrong, what's missing, or what shouldn't be here. Always looking for something that needs to be fixed or changed or controlled or managed, right? That's kind of the purpose of ego, right? It's to look where threats are. The challenge is that's really no peaceful way to live our lives. To always look at what's wrong, and whatever's wrong out there is affecting my happiness, so I've got to fix it. That's ego in its full glory, right? So this story is about the shattering of ego, which leads to an experience of an open heart. And in the experience of an open heart, we experience the infinite, the divine, the God of light, as I recently read, the God of infinite light. We experience the God of infinite light in an open heart, with an open heart. Because the dynamic of ego, to fix, to see what's wrong, to blame, to control, that dynamic covers up an open heart. Can't have the two at the same time. So this dynamic of ego really does need to be shattered, or at least strongly put aside, and live in an experience of an open heart. And this story all points to that, which I'm going to go into in a minute. That's why I really like this Sunday. I love this Sunday. So last night we celebrated Passover. Those of you who celebrated Passover. And Passover, metaphysically, not just metaphysically, it really means the experience of the movement from being imprisoned to free. Being imprisoned by our limitations, by our false thinking, by the condition of being human, into a movement of freedom. So it's great because that's a part of this week. That's kind of like, to me, it like frames the week. It's like the intro into the week. Guess what? The story is about moving from limitation or imprisonment to an experience of freedom. It's like the get-go, right? So the story, with that as a backdrop, or almost as a threshold, the story starts with Jesus on Palm Sunday riding into Jerusalem with his disciples. And he went to Jerusalem because in those days it was really an honor for Jewish people to go to Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover. It was a custom, it was a thing. So Jesus, keeping in line with his own spiritual tradition, was going to Jerusalem to celebrate Passover, to celebrate this experience from imprisonment to freedom, right? So the tensions were high in Jerusalem. While it was a Jewish city, the Romans occupied it. So the Romans controlled it. So the Romans controlled, this is a deal at the time. The Romans controlled the sacred spots of the Jewish faith. Some other nation controlled them. So they had hoped for a king to overthrow the Romans. So they looked at Jesus and thought, Jesus is coming into Jerusalem to overthrow the Romans. So in this trip into Jerusalem that Jesus and his disciples made, there was a lot of excitement because they were thinking, finally, the Romans will be overthrown. So it's a big deal. There was a lot of excitement as Jesus approached. He's going to be our new king. You know, the scripture says, Hosanna to the King of Kings. They were expecting it, right? So that's the historical surface of it. And as the week progressed, the disciples and the people that followed Jesus would realize this wasn't the case. This wasn't the case. So at the get-go, their expectations of what they wanted so desperately was shattered. It didn't happen. And isn't that a human experience in which we really want something, really expect it, really depend on it? And it doesn't happen. It's part of our experience as humans. It's part of the human condition. And so it's the first kind of maybe step into ego being shattered. What I wanted so badly is not going to happen. So I'm going to invite you to breathe in. Just move the energy. It started to get stuck there a little bit, right? And so metaphysically, if you look at the story metaphysically, Jerusalem is symbolic of the heart. So anyone metaphysically looking at the story is saying, oh, this story is going to be about the opening of the heart because Jesus is moving into the heart of things. That's the metaphysical meaning. This story is about moving to the heart. And so sometimes when our expectations aren't met, when they're shattered, we grieve in such a way that our heart's open. So that's this first kind of event. That's what I want to say about that. And then the next event that happens of this Holy Week is Tuesday night. And Tuesday night was when Judas went to the chief priests to betray Jesus for 30 pounds of silver. And he betrayed him. So the second kind of so I see this as an initiation process. It's an initiation process. So the first is the shattering. The first is an awareness of moving from limitation, imprisonment, to freedom. That's the call. And then as we embark on the initiation, it's the shattering of expectations. And then we come upon betrayals. Has anyone in here not been betrayed? So another human experience, right? So if all is divine, as Borghild beautifully prayed, if all is divine, if all is a reflection of the divine, who is your betrayer? Part of this divine unfolding. Approaching betrayal, there's one of two ways we could do that. We could feel betrayed and be victim and be angry and stuck in that story. They did this to me. And because they did this to me, I'm not happy or I'm wounded. You know, we could do that story. We could do another story. We could say, you know what? Being betrayed is about me calling my power back. It's about me somehow forgiving myself because I put my power out there. I put my happiness out there. And it's time now to call it home. It's time to do the inner work of how did I draw this in my life? How come I did? And betrayal, properly dealt with, can lead to a powerful experience of divine presence. Because we draw back our expectations and our power out there, and we bring it home to ourselves. It's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing to be betrayed. So any betrayals we have in our lives can actually be a porthole, a threshold into a deeper divine experience. It's the call to be empowered. So then the next thing that happens is Thursday night. A couple things happen on Thursday night, Holy Thursday of this week. And that is Jesus gathers his disciples and shares the Passover meal with them, right? So he's got his companions there. So symbolically, we look at this, and there's a couple things going on. One is in an initiation process, as we feel pain and brokenness in an initiation process, the first question we want to ask is, who's my companions? Who's at my table? Who's got my back? Who can I depend on as I'm going through this process for support? Who are my intimates? Who is at my table breaking bread with me? It's an important thing to know that. Versus those who aren't. So that's an important step. Where am I supported? Where am I fed? The second piece of this, let me just say this one more thing. Who supports my evolution? Who supports this if I'm in grief, if my heart's shattered? Who's supporting me? Who's supporting my evolution? Let's take another breath here. If I happen to forget to tell you to breathe, just feel free to continue that. So the other piece about Holy Thursday, which I love this, is Jesus was telling them symbolically, I'm giving my body, I'm giving my life to you. I'm giving this to you. Who would you give your life for? What would you give your life for? Another way to phrase it is, what are you living for? What's your purpose? What calls you up in the morning? What inspires you? What is the purpose of your being born on the planet right now? So we align with that. So absolutely in some awakening process, right? Some evolution of consciousness or higher vibration. The question needs to be answered. Why do I get up in the morning? What am I living for? What's my purpose? Right? And then we've got later on that night, we've got the agony in the garden. The deep, deep experience of fear. Fear concerning what's facing us. Who have not experienced fear about the future? Again, part of being human. It's part, no matter how spiritually evolved one might be, fear is certainly a part of our experience. So, this reading that Borghild read, it's so great. Before we can transcend humanness, limitations of humanness, we've got to be fully present to the experience of it. What's that saying? To heal it, I've got to feel it. It's exactly this. We've got to be authentic about our humanness and make room for our humanness. We can't be so spiritual that we exclude our humanity. So I love that in the story, Jesus was really freaked out at this point. He was facing his death. There was not someplace he wanted to go. What was more powerful for him, though, than the fear was experiencing how the divine was unfolding through his life. Because when we start to open to the divine, what we see is right in the context of our lives is where the divine's happening, unfolding. This situation, this problem, this relationship, this loneliness, that's where the divine is folding. We don't go away to a holy mountain and experience the divine, or a monastery, although some of us just did that. We experience it in our daily lives. That's the unfolding. So Jesus was simply present to what was happening without an aggressiveness, a fighting, or a fleeing, because that's what we do, right? We either get aggressive and we fight something, or we run away. Those are our two paths. Jesus and people in their spiritual awakening path stay present to what's happening. And that's the emotion. You know, I almost look at this this Thursday night experience where Jesus felt such fear as almost like a breathwork session. We just feel what needs to be felt. Move through it, kind of present, or he's ready for what happens on Good Friday, which is, you know, he was judged and condemned to death. And he simply was following what was unfolding in his life. And the most important thing in Jesus' life was his radical love of God, which was beyond culture and religion, and it brought him to an inclusiveness of people that freaked out the Jewish tradition as well as the Roman Empire. He was that radical in his inclusion of everyone. So we have the ultimate of letting go, which is death. And you know, we have, and this is a big Buddhist trend, but we have experienced death in our lives, right? So it's interesting. I want to just talk a little bit about this. What is our relationship with our own death? Because I'm not sure how to break this to you, but no one's going to get out of here alive. I don't mean the room. I mean your life. You know, I'm working on my trust. I'm redoing my trust, and I'm talking to my daughter about what we're leaving, what we're not leaving. And when I first started the conversation with her, she's like, "You're not dying, Dad. You're not dying. You know, would not even." I'm like, "Well, at some point, you know, it's going to happen, you know." So we've gotten to a point where we're able to talk about it because I want her to be fully prepared with that, right? Where it's not where, you know, she doesn't have to deal with that with all. I want to be really clear. I want it to be really clear for her. So it's facing our own death. And this is a great a Buddhist strength in their training. It's like establish a relationship with your own dying. Talk about getting in touch with the human condition. You know, and Jesus was a smart guy. He was intuitive. He had to know going into Jerusalem, there was a possibility of that. He had to have known, especially as the week progressed. Jesus, because of his radical connection with the divine, had a relationship with what was going to happen. And then the final part of Holy Week, which I think is just as equally important as all the other parts. After Jesus died, his body was put in a tomb, And for 3 days, when you see 3 in Scripture, it's always transformative. So something transformative is happening between Friday night and Sunday morning. And so putting his body in the tomb, to me, points to the need for us to integrate all that happens in our life. To integrate the grief that we experience, find a place for that. The pain, the suffering, the joy, the love, the connection. I think this part of the story calls us to get still with ourselves. To go to a place that is beyond our trying to figure it out. Us using our senses and going into darkness. Because when things are dark, we can't use our senses. Our source of knowledge comes from within when we tune out our senses. And that's the power of stillness. So Jesus had quite a week. So I love that the story, it doesn't end here, but it pauses at this point to say, hey, it's time to integrate all this stuff that happened, right? So the story does not end here, but I'm not going to tell you the end of the story. You have to come back next week. Because it's a cliffhanger, right? Like a lot of shows leave you. I'm not telling you the end. Come back next week and get the final, because this story continues on through next week. Okay, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. I'm going to invite you to sit up straight and tall. And go ahead and breathe into your heart. Let your heart be open. Just breathe in. And let your body relax. If there is any tension in your body, just breathe into those places. And set an intention right now for your heart to open. And I'm going to ask you a couple questions. And I'm going to just invite your soul, your heart, to bring forth for you the answers. So taking a deep breath into your heart. The first is, what expectations do I have that I need to let go of? Let your heart, let your soul, let your higher self reveal this. What expectations? And taking a deep breath in. So ask your higher self, your soul, where do I need to call my power back? Where maybe am I playing victim? It's time to step up, to be empowered. Let that rise up within you. And taking another deep breath. And the final question. What is the purpose of your life? What is the purpose? What are you living for? What do you want to live for? Breathe that in and open your heart.
Oh.